Amir, so good to speak to you. A month away from the fight, you're in Colorado. Spencer and I are here in London, freezing our knackers off. How have preparations been going?
Preparations are going really, really well. I'm in Colorado Springs, up in the mountains, training at around about 8,000 feet high. And I think the altitude definitely helps. One thing we're doing different here in this training camp is that we're doing 4-minute sparring rounds. So everything that we do now, from pad work to rounds, shadow boxing, everything is 4-minute rounds. The reason why is because they want to keep you thinking about the game plan. They want to keep you calm, collective, and also it's great for the fitness. But, you know, one thing I have to say, I've done training camps. I've trained with many trainers, for example, Freddie Roach and Virgil Hunter, and you in the UK, my old friend Oliver Howson, who sadly passed away. And I've never trained this hard in my life. I mean, with Bomac, I mean, this is what makes Crawford the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, because the way these guys train, it's like, wow.
Amir, have you had to do much adjustments? You know, as you're getting older, is the training regime different to what it was when you was younger? Like you say, you're out there now and you're training in altitude, et cetera, et cetera. That's the first part of the question. And the second part of the question that I want to ask you is, you and Kell Brook, it's been brewing a long, long time now. It's a fight that's been off, it's been on, it's been off, it's been on. Yeah. We finally hear. Is this fight all about bragging rights? Does this fight define both of your legacies?
Okay, so the first question, I'll answer that. So, you know, training camp, obviously I am getting older now, but to be honest with you, I like the way Bomac, what he's done for me here is he's got me training with the younger fighters, the up-and-coming fighters. So I'm running, I'm sprinting, I'm doing circuit training with all the young fighters at the age of like maybe 22, 23, 24, who are at the peak of their career. And they're pushing me hard, but it's come to a stage now in training camp where I'm only a month away from the fight, but I'm beating all these young fighters. I'm beating them in the running. I'm beating them in the sprints. I'm beating them in the swimming sessions. I've literally just finished the swimming session now. And that just shows to me that I can push it even at this age. I'm still pushing it and doing better than the younger fighters. I know when I was younger, obviously, but I think my times are still the same. I'm hitting good times compared to when I was 23, 24. So I'm hitting the same times. So, yeah. And talking about the Kell Brook fight, I mean, look, it's a massive fight. End of the day, yeah. It's definitely more than just a fight. It's bragging rights, making sure that whoever wins this fight, you know, we'll always be talking about this fight. I mean, look, we've both won world titles in our career, but I think this fight means it's more than a world title fight to me, and probably to him as well, because we're both British. We've had that rivalry for a very long time. The fight didn't happen because of different reasons. I was with Golden Boy on one stage, then I went to Al Heyman in America. I campaigned in America for a long time. And then when I came back to UK with Eddie in 2017, I thought the Kell Brook fight was the fight there. But then obviously I went on and I went and fought Crawford instead, which was a massive opportunity for me at that time because he was pound for pound number one. And I thought I want to fight the best out there. But I always had it in my mind that Kell Brook fight was always going to be there. And look, now it's here and it's bigger than ever.
Amir, some observers are saying Simon Jordan here is one of them. It's all about your speed against Brook's timing. Is that about right? I mean, where do you think you can gain an advantage to see this guy off?
Look, if you break the fight down and you break our careers down, Kell's been in a lot of wars. He's had a lot of tough fights in his career. I mean, so have I. But I think the beating he's taken, look, in a fight, you either get knocked out with one punch, then taking a numerous punches and have your face beaten up and everything else. Also, outside the sport, I do live a decent life. I live a clean life. I don't drink alcohol. I kind of keep it clean. I mean, I love my food here and there, but that's just about it. But with Kell, obviously, he does go off the rails a little bit. I think outside the boxing ring, I'm a better lived fighter. Going into this fight, I think I'm the fresher fighter. I'm probably the quicker fighter. Yes, he has timing, but does he have the same timing as he had 5 years ago? I mean, only time will tell. In his last fight, it was a jab that put him down. The fight before that, I went the distance against someone he should have really knocked out. So I think for me, timing-wise, is perfect. But at the same time, we don't like each other. And I'm going to go in there and I'm going to do a job on him. I mean, every time we see each other, I mean, look, I can see in his eyes as well, he doesn't like me. And likewise, we've always had that bitterness against each other. You know, I respect what he's done in the sport of boxing. For any fighter to win a world title, you have to respect them. He's been there, he's done it, but you know, I've not got that respect for him in that sense. When I step in that ring with him, I'm there to punch him right in the face and do a proper job on him.
Amir, he doesn't like you. He says he can't wait to punch you right in the face.
Exactly, Jim. You know what? I don't blame him. I mean, the press conference. You know, I kind of figured it out when we first went head to head before the press conference started in London, and I saw in his eyes that he doesn't like me, which is going to make the fight even exciting. I mean, look, it's always a better fight when you have two fighters who don't like each other and who want to hurt each other. I mean, I know we shouldn't be saying this, but it's boxing. End of the day, we're going to go in there and we're going to see who the better fighter is.
Yeah, I mean, you say, you know, you both don't like each other, which has been evident over the years, and that's been building up. Do you think emotions could play a part in this? Because it's all about, listen, at top level, I know, as you know, at top level, it's all about tactics. Who gets it right, who gets it wrong. One false move and you pay the price. Do you think emotions could play a part in this, you know, with yourself and Kell Brook?
Yeah, definitely. And we have to stay very calm. I made that mistake before. I remember when I was fighting Danny Garcia and I was winning the fight comfortably, but then emotions took over. I wanted to really hurt him. I really wanted to go for the knockout, and I got caught myself with a big shot. And that was a Danny Garcia that was unknown them days. You know, I just went in there because of his father. He kind of wound me up at the press conference. But as I've got older, I mean, that was about 6-7 years ago. But as I've got older now, I'm a lot more wiser. I'm a lot more calmer. And if someone wants to keep on talking and putting you down, I mean, look, I like giving it back. But I know for a fact when I step in that ring, I have to stick to the game plan. I've got my trainers like Bomac and Saul and everyone in the corner, and they keep telling me, even when we're sparring, they said, look, you need to stay calm, stay collective, and you have to think about the game plan. It's not all about going in there and hurting him. That time will come in the fight where you catch him and you will hurt him. But you hurt him in a way where you technically just give him a good beating till it's time to knock him out.
Amir, what would you say to people who say, look, these two, you know, Khan and Brook, it's come too late. Maybe 5 or 10 years ago, this would have been a cracker. But now, they've got on too much on years.
Yeah, Jim, I think they're wrong. I think because the build-up has been for so long. I mean, it reminds me a little bit when Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao should have fought a long time ago. That fight never happened. But how big was the fight when it did happen? I mean, look, me and Kell, you know, we are similar stages of our career. We're similar ages. We've won world titles. I think this is more about bragging rights, who the better fighter is. Regardless if the fight happened now, if it happens now or it happened 10 years ago, in my opinion, the same thing would have happened. I would destroy him. But this is where time will tell. And I think it is going to be a mega fight because at the end of the day, look, respect to Kell Brook. He's gone away to train. He spent time away from his family to work hard and train hard. I'm doing the same thing. You know, we both have sacrifices and we are going to go all the way. And we want to win this fight. It shows that he's training hard because he wants to win. I'm here away from my family because I want to win. So come fight night, the fans have got a big fight in front of them. There's gonna be everything in this fight. I mean, we're not gonna let anything go. I'm gonna leave everything in the ring on that night.
I mean, do you find at this stage of your career that fighting Kell Brook has made you rediscover the love for the sport because it's Kell Brook? I mean, because you've had such a long career, pro for like 17 years, he's been pro for 18 years. You sort of, as you're going on, you start feeling like you're coming to the end or whatever. This must be like you're having your debut again.
Yeah, no, definitely. You're 100% right there because I was through COVID time. It was a tough time for everyone. And it was so hard for me to train. The gyms were closed. So I was training at home. Luckily, I had a bag there and everything. And I couldn't motivate myself. And it was just then when the talk started happening about the Kell Brook fight. And I want to beat him so badly. I was like, wow, I really want this. And that hunger 100% has come back from when I was a teenager. You know, when I wanted to become a world champion. To me, this is a massive opportunity, a massive fight for me. It's like a world title fight for me. And that hunger has come back. That's the reason I moved away from my family. I'm doing the sacrifices. I'm in training camp in Colorado Springs. I mean, there's nothing to do here, but this is what I want. This is what I want to. This is why I want to win the fight so badly, and this is how I'm showing it. I'm pushing myself so hard, and like you said as well, the love has come back again. And because it's such a big fight, and everywhere you go in the UK, everyone's talking about it. And we've not had a British rivalry fight for a very long time. I mean, we're waiting for Joshua and Fury fight to happen. That didn't happen. But second best has to be Khan Brook. So we're going to give him that big fight.
Amir, let's say you beat Brook, and I know you won't like this. Let's say Brook beats you. No matter what the outcome is there a rematch clause in there?
Yes, there is. So there is a rematch clause in the fight. And I think we've learned that from the Americans. When I used to do contracts with the likes of Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, obviously, unfortunately, them fights didn't happen. But whenever we do any fight contracts, we make sure both parties made sure there was a rematch clause in there because it's such a big fight. The second fight will be as big. I mean, it reminds me of when David Haye fought against Bellew. I mean, how big was the second fight?
Oh, yeah.
And glad they had that rematch clause in there. So obviously, I had one of the advisors called Maz. He's the one who made sure he put that in, and Kell's team wanted it in as well. And look, regardless who wins this fight, I mean, everyone would want to see a rematch. Everyone want to see what mistakes we made in the first fight. We're not going to make them same mistakes. We're going to go in the second fight. I mean, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, because I just feel that Kell Brook will get such a beating in this fight that I don't think he'll want a rematch. But like I said, the options there.
Amir, also, the welterweight limit is 147 pounds. This fight is made at 149. Is there a reason that it was made at a catchweight? And is there any penalty clauses that have been put into place if one of you doesn't make the weight?
Yeah, so I wanted to fight at 147 because we're both welterweight fighters. We both won world titles at welterweight. I wanted to keep the ranking going at welterweight. But now, obviously, with Kell's team, they didn't want to make 147. If you look at us, the last person to make the 147 was Kell recently. So how can he not say that he cannot make the weight anymore? So anyway, we decided to make the fight at 149, which I was a little bit upset about, but I had to do it because see, this has been one of the reasons the fight's not happened in the past, because the weights, talking about the weight, talking about where the fight's going to be, and again it came to that situation where I didn't want to do 149. I wanted to do 147, but then I had to bite my tongue and say, you know what, fine, I'll do 147 just to make the fight happen, just so the public and the people out there, the British boxing fans, don't think that Amir's the one that's pulling it at this fight, because it's never been me. I've never pulled at the fight. I had other opportunities at the time earlier. That's why the fight didn't happen. But this time, I think the fight could have been called off again because of the weight. But obviously, I said, look, I'm going to make it happen. I decided to go up another 2 pounds. And for those people who don't understand boxing as much, I mean, 2 pounds makes a massive difference. We are going into another weight division. Me winning the fight at 147 would have been an advantage to me. But then again, it would not have been a massive advantage to me because Kell has made 147 more recently and fought more recently than me. But I think it gives Kell Brook an advantage for sure, having that extra 2 pounds, which maybe a lot of people might not understand, but 2 pounds makes a massive difference. And but then, for me to say yes to that, because at first I was like, no, hell no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And then I don't want people thinking that Amir's the one that's avoiding the fight. So then I decided to say, look, I'm going to do the fight no matter what weight it is at. I mean, at one stage, I think they said they want to do it at 151. And that's when I was like totally against it. I was like, no, hell no. But then we agreed at 149 and I said, that's fine.
So Amir, two short ones for me to finish with. Number one, in a couple of sentences, what we're going to see on the night.
Jim, we're going to see explosiveness, speed, power, and there's going to be a lot of experience in there. From between us both, I've had almost 40 fights. He's had about 40 fights as well. So just under 100 fights between us both. So I've said there's going to be a lot of experience in there, explosiveness, power, and there will be knockdowns as well.
And Amir, win it or lose it, any thoughts of retiring?
No, not yet. Not at all. I mean, coming to Omaha and training in Colorado with Bomac and the team and Crawford and everyone, it just brought that love back in the sport again. Honestly, like, I will miss it. If I call it a day, I will miss the sport. But like I said, every fight, you take it a step at a time. I don't know how I'm going to feel going into this fight. After the fight, I'm going to sit down with my family and then see what I do in my career next.